Sudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Jai Śrī Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Bhagavatam Puran, Canto 10, Chapter 6, entitled The Killing of Demon Putana. So we read till where the gopis are doing the purificatory ceremonies by different mantras, by different nyasas, anganyas, bijanyas, chanting the different names of Lord Hari, touching the different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, calling the different gods in different incarnations of Lord Keshavaya Namah, Narayana Namah, etc. The whole idea is that Krishna needs our protection. Krishna needs the protection of Vishnu. They're not thinking Krishna as Vishnu or Krishna as the Supreme Lord. They're thinking Krishna as their own child, as their own little, young, very tender child, 6 days old. So like that, we read till text 29. So we'll move on to the next verse, which is text number 30. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Pranaya Baddhabhir Gopibhi Krita Rakshanam Payayitva Stanam Mata Sanyashayad Atmajam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhicharanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Shukdev Goswami continued. All the gopis headed by Mother Yashoda were bound by maternal affection. After they thus chanted mantras to protect the child, Mother Yashoda gave the child the nipple of her breast to suck and then got him to lie down on his bed. Purport: when a baby drinks milk from the breast of his mother, this is a good sign of health. So the elderly gopis were not satisfied with chanting mantras to give protection to Krishna. They also tested whether their child's health was in order. When the child sucked the breast, this confirmed that he was healthy. And when the gopis were fully satisfied, they had the child lie down on his bed. Hare Krishna. So, very nice verse here. Now they have done different purificatory ceremonies by Gomutra, by Gobara, by cow tail, by chanting mantras, etc. Now the gopis are so intelligent, they are not dissatisfied with that. If the child is, here Prabhupada is mentioning, the child is taking the breast milk of the mother, then the child is healthy. And if the child is not doing so, that means there is something wrong. maybe Putana has done something inside or something, some mental disorder, some physical disorder. So they are, in short, testing or checking the health of the baby, health of their Lala, health of their life and soul, Krishna. And they were happy to see that, yes, the baby is sucking the milk normally, and he is satisfied by drinking Mother Yashoda's milk. Here, their Vatsalya Bhav, their maternal rasa, their paternal affection is being reflected here. So everyone was happy that the child is normal. And then the child laid down on his bed. So, quite straightforward. We'll move on to the next verse. Yes, Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Guruji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all verses Śrīla Prabhupada, text 31. Pavan Nanda Tayo Gopa Muthuraya Brajam Gata Bilokayo Putana Deham Bhavubhur Oti Vishmita. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Meanwhile, all the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, returned from Mathura, and when they saw on the way the gigantic body of Putana lying dead, they were struck with great wonder. Purport. Nanda Maharaj's wonder may be understood in various ways. First of all, the cowherd men had never before seen such a gigantic body in Vrindavan, and therefore they were struck with wonder. Then they began to consider where such a body had come from, and whether it had dropped from the sky, or whether by some mistake or by the power of some mystic yogini they had come to some place other than Vrindavan. They couldn't actually guess what had happened, and therefore they are struck with wonder. So before Krishna was born, there's almost a peaceful life in Braja. So once Krishna came, the things will going to happen for the Krishna's lila purpose. So here you see even the Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas, cowherd men, they were struck with wonder seeing that gigantic body of the Putana, and they don't know where it is coming from. So back to Prabhuji. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhupada is also mentioning that they were wondering whether they had come to the same place other than Vrindavan. They have gone, like they've lost their way or something. Like which is this land where generally this body is we have never seen. Like as we discussed, it was the body of Putana was miles long, miles, close to somewhere it's mentioned 10 miles, somewhere 7 miles, somewhere of that size. So it's a very, very long body. And I was also thinking, even like Sudama, when he entered back after meeting Krishna, he also lost his way or felt that he lost his way. Have I come to my same home? So Krishna is miraculous in his pastimes, and he does orchestrate so many pastimes in this connection. Let's see what Nand Maharaj is thinking further. Yes, Vanjalali Priyadevi, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance. Text 32. Nunam Vatarishi Sanjato Yogesho Vasamasaha Sa Eva Drishto Hayutpato Yad Ahan Nakadundubi. Translation. Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know that Anakadadundubi Vasudev has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen this calamity and predicted it to us? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse illustrates the difference between Kshatriyas and innocent Vaishyas. By studying the political situation, Vasudev could see what would happen, whereas Nanda Maharaj, the king of the agriculturists, could only guess that Vasudev was a great saintly person and had developed mystic powers. Vasudev actually had all mystic powers under his control. Otherwise, he could not have become the father of Krishna. But in fact, he foresaw the calamities in Vraja by studying Kamsa's political activities and thus warned Nanda Maharaj to take precautions. Although Nanda Maharaj thought that Vasudev had predicted this incident through wonderful mystic powers, by mystic powers gained through the practice of Hatha Yoga, one can study and understand the future. Thank you so much, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for reading this wonderful verse. As we recall in chapter 5, towards the end of chapter 5, entitled The Meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev. So it was told by Vasudev in text number 31, "My dear brother, since you have paid the annual taxes to Kamsa and have seen him, have seen me, and have met Kamsa, the business is done, you have met me, do not stay in this place for many days. It is better for you to return to Gokula, since I know that there may be some disturbances there." So that's the verse we are kind of connecting here. Srila Shukdev Goswami is connecting here that Vasudev could understand, because of he was a Kshatriya, and Kshatriya are trained in this Rajniti, in this political science, in this kingdom, how to rule, rulership, understanding through the symptoms what's being cooked behind the scene. He could understand that. And of course, Prabhupada is mentioning that, yes, devotee is the best of the sages. What's that famous verse? Muktanam api siddhanam. What's that verse, Manjulali? 6.34.
Chanchalam Himana Krishna.
The last verse, that amongst all the yogis, yoginam api sarvesham. 6.47.
47. 34 is Chanchalam Krishna.
Yoginam api sarvesham madgatin antaratmanam shraddhavan bhajate yoma sa ye yukta tamo mataha. Of all the yogis, the one with great faith, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders devotional service unto me, he is the most intimately united with me in the yoga, and is the highest of all. So all the yogis, Hatha yogis, Ashtanga yogis, Dhyana yogis, Karma yogis, this yogis, that yogis, who is the best yogis? Bhakti yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatinantaram. Sa yukta tama. Yukta, yuktatara, yuktatama. Topmost. Like good, better, best. There is superlative degree used here. So of course, Vasudeva was the eternal associate of the Lord, but in this case, they are playing the role as an ordinary human, an ordinary Kshatriya, ordinary Vaishya, etc. So what is Nanda thinking? Wow, he's a fortune teller. He's a future teller. He can predict future. Referring to that verse in text number 31 of chapter 5, he predicted that some disturbance could happen. Wow, he must have been a great saint. Wow. He must be doing something really powerful by the practice of Hatha Yoga or whatnot. He predicted that something disturbance is going. So Vasudeva is kind of remembering that episode. Prabhupada was asked Generally devotees or common people expect that great souls should show something magical, right? Something magical, like create ashes from the hands, right? What's the value of ashes? Ashes are ashes. Can they create mountains of ashes? Can they create mountains of gold? Certainly not. So someone asked Prabhupada, what magic you have done? What's your mystic power? Prabhupada said that look at these people, referring to devotees here, sitting around. They were indulged in intoxication of illicit sex, meat eating, and drugs and whatnot, all the bad habits. They've given up all that and leading a pure Krishna conscious life. Can someone do a better magic? No. So that's the real magic. The magic of transformation of hearts, transformation of lives. Making the paper yellow or brown, or turning the paper colors, and this is what value is it? But transforming people's life through the bhakti process, that's real something tangible, very, very valuable. Any other thoughts or comments before we move to the next? Okay, let's move to the next verse, 6.33. You can't prove until Akshay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so
Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Kalevaram parashubhish chitvate rajakashaha dure kshiptvas tvavasyo Nityaṁ kashtatam vishititam. Ishtistam. Can you scroll down? Can you scroll down? Translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The inhabitants of Raja cut the gigantic body of Putana into pieces with the help of axes. Then they threw the pieces far away, covered them with wood, and burned them to ashes.
Purport.
It is a practice after a snake has been killed. Its body is cut into various pieces for fear that it may come to life again simply by interacting with air. Merely killing a serpent is not sufficient. After it's killed, it must cut pieces and burn. It must cut to pieces and burn. And then the danger will be over. Putana resembled a great serpent, and therefore the cowherd men took the same precautions by burning her body into ashes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
thank you, Kant Prabhu, Chikrika, for so nicely reading. You have any comments here?
It's straight. I feel it's pretty straightforward, Prabhu. It's like now serpents are very like Prabhupada is comparing here, giving contrast with the serpent with the snakes, which are like sometimes we think that the snakes they are they are two-headed snakes. Sometimes if we think that okay it's one-headed snake only, and we hit one time and then probably it might we think that it might have died, but it might come back into life again after some time, and it will again attack people. The same way people with that vicious mentality might we think that we have beaten them enough and they are dead, but after some time they'll come back to life and they'll try to attack with the same vicious mentality, they'll try to attack the people around them. In the same way, Putana is compared to that vicious snake, a serpent, and that's like, as a same way how we have to treat that serpents. We have to Vraja people had killed her and cut into pieces, and then started to burn her into ashes. So I understood, Prabhu. Please add more. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Parashubhihi. Kalevaram Parashubhihi. Parasha, Parshuram, holding the axe or the chopper. So Parashubhihi, with the help of the Parshu, all the Vrajavasis, all the men started to cut the body. Because it was not an easy task. Now the whole body is so big. Just imagine, like mountain. They're chopping off mountains. The hands are like 1 mile long. The legs are like another mile long. The belly is like a big mountain. So it's taking many men, hundreds of men, to start cutting the body into pieces. Because as mentioned here, Rajavasis were scared about the safety of Krishna. What if this Putana is Dakini, Putana is very ferocious, Putana is Balaghatani, Putana is Ghora, Putana is very inauspicious. What if somehow or the other she has some mystic powers and she again revives or gets back to life? Then it will be very unsafe for all of us and for our dear Krishna. The example in Mahabharata also comes about Jarasandha. Jarasandha, he had a special power that he would be killed and then the body would again join. So this is not something, not like something just fictitious. There are many instances like Jarasandha, his body would join. Then finally Krishna told him to rip his body from the middle and throw the pieces in a different direction, and then he would not join. So the point is that they're all working together for the safety of Krishna and Rajokasaha. And they also mentioned they're throwing the pieces far away. They're not just like putting all the pieces together. That's also a very nice point. So that the pieces should not somehow combine by the effect of air or something. But they're throwing the pieces far away. And then they started to burn the body of Putana. That means the different pieces of the body, because the body is so big. So let's see what happens further. Akshay, Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Damyam anasya dehasya dumash chaguru saurabha utita Krishna nilbukta sapadye ahata pampanam. Translation: because of Krishna hangs up the breast of the Rakshasi Putana, when Krishna killed her, she was immediately free of all material contamination. Her sinful reactions automatically vanished, and therefore when her gigantic body was burned, the smoke emanating from her body was fragrant like aguru incense. Purpose. Such are the effects of Krishna consciousness. If one somehow or other becomes Krishna conscious by applying his senses in the service of the Lord, one is immediately freed from the material contamination. Śrīmad Svakata Krishna Punya Sharvana Kirtana Bhagavatam 1.2.17. Hearing about the activities of Krishna is the being of purified life, is the beginning of purified life. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Simply by hearing and chanting, one becomes purified. Therefore, in discharging devotional service, Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting, is most important. Then, with purified senses, one begins to render service to the Lord. Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. This is called Bhakti. When Putana was somehow or other directly or indirectly induced to render some service to her Lord by filling him with her breast, she was immediately purified so much so that when her nasty material body was burned to ashes, it gave off the fragrance of aguru, the most agreeable scent of her. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Akshay Prabhu. Thank you, Akshay Prabhu. Sorry, maybe I was on mute. What are your thoughts? What did you learn here?
That Krishna was like Krishna had mercy on Putana, so that when she was burned to ashes, the smoke was smelling like aguru incense. So, and also that it also said that she was freed from any material contamination that she had built up. So now she was free from any material contamination.
Thank you. So this is the beauty of the Lord, that although she had lot of inauspiciousness, she had lot of hidden agendas to kill Krishna, but Krishna, what did he see? Oh, she came to offer little. Somehow the other, as Prabhupada is writing, directly or indirectly, induced her to render some service, to offer milk. Krishna only sees that. So by Krishna's touch, Putana's body was sanctified and she was freed from all the sinful reactions and material contamination. So it was smelling when the body was burned. Generally, when dead bodies are burned, it does not smell very nice. It smells bad. Especially the more the body takes to be burnt, or let's say the body, when the soul leaves the body at a certain time, the more the body, there's a lapse in delay or delay in burning, the more time. Now they took significant time to cut also, to remember that. But it was not that the body was smelling and rotting and or smelling bad. Rather, when they burnt, it's like agru incense. So this is, we may have even not experienced of this aguru incense, very, very pure, and like it's like a herb. Or so in short, Krishna is Hari, Sarva Amangala Hari. He takes away or destroys amangala or ashubha in one's life and makes everything auspicious, makes everything pure. Shrinvatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hriday Antasthiya Bhadrani Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam Hriday Antasthiya Bhadrani. All the impurities, abhadra, again bhadra means good or pure, abhadra means impure, are destroyed. There are so many verses like that all the impurities are destroyed. But just like when the sun rises, all the moisture particles, you may have seen in the car also, there are some moisture particles in the daytime. And when the sun rises, all they are gone immediately. Similarly, when the sun of Krishna rises in one's life, the moisture particles of impurities are destroyed. So therefore, Shravana Kirtana is always given emphasis here. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchati. With the purified senses, tat paratvena nirmalam, with the senses are nirmala or purified, we are able to render better service. And how will the senses become pure? By reading Bhagavatam. And by reading Bhagavatam, senses will become pure, and by pure senses, we'll be able to better read Bhagavatam. By better reading Bhagavatam, we'll get better in our Krishna consciousness and more purity will come. And by doing that, our devotion will increase. So it's like a cyclic effect. The more we chant, the pure we get. The pure we get, the better we chant. The better we chant, the more pure we get. The more pure we become, the better we chant, and the more our bhakti will continue to grow. Our senses will continue, mind and senses will continue to purify. Bad habits will continue to go down, and pure habits will continue to go up. Contact with Krishna spiritualizes matter. Such a beautiful line. This is from the short book I have. Just have to read some snippets from here. This is about Putana only. Contact with Krishna spiritualizes matter. Krishna's transcendental touch purifies both bodies and hearts of even the most wicked people. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Krishna's touch purifies the bodies and the hearts. So it's not that just was her body was purified. Her heart, that means she got the position as a mother. Now, can anyone with an impure heart go to spiritual world? Certainly not. So Krishna not just purified her gross body, and not just the gross body smelled like agru, but her heart was also purified. All the impurities are gone. And that's what Krishna's touch is, not just the physical direct touch. We are touching Bhagavatam, we are reading Bhagavatam, we are hearing Bhagavatam, we are honoring Krishna Prasad, we are meeting Krishna's devotee, we are chanting the holy name, we are distributing books, we are sharing the holy name, chanting Kirtan, Japa, or taking darshan of the deities, going to holy places, circumambulating Tulasi, worshipping the deities, offering Patram, Pushpam, Phalam. Everything is Krishna's touch. This is all Krishna's touch. So all that is purifying the body and the heart. So in short, the body was smelling like agru, very, very pure, very, very pure. Because Krishna has touched the body. So no impurities can remain. Okay, we'll move on to the next verse. Any comments before, any thoughts, comments, corrections before that? Or to the next verse. Has any additions? Okay, let's read the next verse. Who did not get chance yesterday? Maybe they can read first. Vijaya Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 35, 36. Putana loka baladni rakshasi rudirashana jidhasa yapi harayestanam datvap sadvatim kim punah shraddhaya bhaktaya krishnaya paramatmane yachenna priyatam kim nu raktastan na mataro yatha. Translation. Putna was always hankering for the blood of human children, and with the desire she came to kill Krishna. But because she offered her breast to the Lord, she attained the greatest achievement. What then is to be said of those who had natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mother, and who offer him their breast to suck, or offered something very dear as a mother offer something to a child? Purport. Putna had no affection for Krishna, rather she was envious and wanted to kill him. Nevertheless, because with or without knowledge she offered her breast, she attain the highest achievement in life. But the offering of devotee attracted to Krishna in parental love are always sincere. A mother like to offer something to her child with affection and love. There is no question of envy. So there we can make comparative study. If Putna could attain such an excellent position in spiritual life of neglectfully, inversely making an offering to Krishna, what is to be said of Mother Yashoda and the other gopi who served Krishna with such great affection and love, offering everything for Krishna's satisfactions. The gopis automatically achieved the highest perfection. Therefore, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu recommended the affection of the gopis, either in material affection or in conjugal love, as the highest perfection in life. Ramaya Kachida Apasana Vrajavadhu Vrajagna Ya Kalpita. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading this beautiful verse and for your association. This is called Kemotika Nyaya. Nyaya is logic. Shukdev Goswami is mentioning here in this verse. Putna was expert in killing children by drinking their blood. Wow. Hankering for the blood. That's very, very children are innocent. Children are always cute. No matter, let's say, even if two enemies have, some fight with, but when they see their child, they will not try to harm an innocent 1-year-old child, right? Even if two people are enemies, they'll say, well, this 1-year-old has not done anything wrong to me. Why should try to harm this innocent, helpless, little child? So how much of wickedness and poison and cruelty in her heart, you cannot fathom that. Now that person gets a position of mother. Attained the greatest achievement referring to she was all purified and became a dhatri. Again, that famous verse. Aho bakiham sthana kalakutam jigham saya apyayat api asadhi lebhe gatim, the destination was dhatrim uchitam tatonyam. She got a very topmost destination, greatest achievement. Now, imagine this Kaimutika Nyaya. There's a school. And in the failure, the person who fails all the exams gets the job as principal engineer of Google. Right? Just imagine a college, and the least deserving person gets a very high-profile job. Now, how much more would be the bright students of the college be getting? We cannot fathom that, right? That's Kaimutika Nyaya. If a person who came to kill Krishna got the position as an eternal mother of the Lord, how much more the Vrajavasis and the devotees of the Lord who are serving Krishna, Anukulyena Krishnanu, who are not pratikul. Putna was pratikul, desire to kill. But pratikul bhakti is not the ideal bhakti. Ideal bhakti is anukulena krishnanu sevanam bhaktir uttamam. So anukul means favorable, positively or favorably thinking about Lord. Unfavorably means, oh, I should kill Krishna. I should kill. How will I kill? Comes a thinking, oh, when I'm causing harm to devotee. Oh, this temple. Oh, how I can destroy. Oh, how I can, harm devotees. How I can make something bad for this, right? So thinking negatively is they're thinking about God. They're thinking about maybe devotees. They're thinking about the temple, but in a very wrong way. Like Kamsa, like Ravana, like Shishupal, Dantavakra, all these, like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, always thinking about Krishna in other forms, but in a pratikul way. But Mata Yashoda, she's also anxious for Krishna. She's also thinking about Krishna. Oh, my child must be hungry. Oh, my child must be in danger. What can I do to please my child? What can I do for the safety of my child? What can I do to help my child? What can I cook for him? Let me make new dishes. Let me make new sweet preparation, new milk preparations. Let me make shoes for my Lord. My child. She's not thinking my Lord. She's thinking my child. So that now, if an unfavorable person got such a high destination, what will be the destination of sincere devotees? We cannot fathom that. Tam Vadayalu Sharanam Vrajem. This is Krishna's affection. This is Krishna's love. This is Krishna's causeless mercy. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya is also come. Kali Yuga is the case of very gone people. Kali Yuga is not the place of high-class, mature brahmanas, learned scholars, or people who are very high conduct. Kali Yuga is the lowest of all ages, amongst the 4 ages. In this Kali Yuga, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu and Śrī Nityaṁ Prabhu came, Parama Karuna Pahudvaijana Nitai Gaura Chandra. The same love of God, as you're reading in Chaitanya Caritāmṛta, which was very, very difficult to obtain, the pure, unalloyed Krishna prema, not just Krishna prema, the topmost of all the rasas. Radha Bhav Duti, the topmost love, preme parikashta, the perfection of topmost love they're giving to the least deserving people, that is us. Right? Who are not qualified, not ready, not eager, not so many knots are there, but still the Lord's mercy has no bound. That's Gauranga Nityananda. So reward for an imitation offering. The Putana was imitating, is it not? She did not really want to feed milk, but somehow the other she fed milk also. Krishna's nature is to find some opportunity or the other to show his mercy even to demoniac people. So beautiful line. Krishna is looking, how can I give mercy to this person? How can I give mercy to this person? Oh, this person does tiny good, let me give him mercy. Oh, this person is trying, let me give him mercy. But what conditioned soul like myself are looking for? Even if that person does a lot of good, or what that fault that person is doing, you're picking at that fault. Krishna is looking for reasons to give himself to others. So merciful. He wants to give himself. If one comes in contact with Krishna, somehow or the other, even with a negative attitude, Krishna purifies him or her and bestows his causeless mercy. Service rendered to Lord Krishna, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. So beautiful. Knowingly, unknowingly, directly or indirectly. That's why we go out in the Damodar months. People may not know what is this lamp. Maybe some people may know what is this Damodar month. Sometimes, people come from different backgrounds. They may not know what is this lamp, what is this Damodar. But I see some like African American people also come and they're putting nice lamp. They don't know what is this going on. They don't know, but somehow they feel that we are not harmful people. Somehow they feel that we're not asking anything, but we want to, genuinely seek for their benefit, that language of love communicates to their heart, and they do it. They may not know what they are doing. They may not know what is all this, but knowingly, unknowingly, Krishna is saying that my child, my spirit, my amsha is trying to serve me. So Krishna, those similarly in outreach, people may take books or not take books, even if they chant knowingly, unknowingly Hare Krishna. Even they say Hare Krishna, people are fool, they're still saying Hare Krishna. This is the beauty of the Lord. So it always becomes successful. Any comments, thoughts? Anyone has? Okay. Let's see. Let's read one last or the two verses together. So let's read these two verses. Who wants to read? So Shilpa Mataji, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhu. Padbhayam bhakta hridi stabhayam Vandyabhayam loka vandita angam yasya samakramya bhagavan apitat sthanam yatudhanya api sa swargam avapa janani gatim Krishna bhakta sthana krira kim yugavo numataraha. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Śrī Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee, and he is always offered prayers by such worshipful personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Because Krishna has embraced Putana's body with great pleasure and sucked her breast, although she was a great witch, she attained the position of a mother in the transcendental world and thus achieved the highest perfection. What then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure and who offered their milk very jubilantly with affection, exactly like that of a mother? Purport. These verses explain how devotional service rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demonic witch instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna. Nonetheless, in the beginning, she assumed the form of a very beautiful mother, Yashoda and Rohini, very beautiful woman, and approached Krishna exactly like an affectionate mother. So that mother Yashoda and Rohini did not doubt her sincerity. The Lord took all this into consideration, and thus she was automatically promoted to a position like that of Mother Yashoda. As explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there are various roles one may play in such a position. Putana was immediately promoted to Vaikuntha Loka, which is also sometimes described as Swarga. The Swarga mentioned in this verse is not the material heavenly planet, but the transcendental world. In Vaikuntha Loka, Putana attained the position of a nurse, Dhatri Uchitam, as described by Uddhava. Putana was elevated to the position of a nurse and maid servant in Goloka Vrindavana to assist Mother Yashoda. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. So I think I've asked a question in last class on why Putana was given such a good position, and you answered. So it looks like this verse, in this verse, Prabhuji, Prabhupada explained it even more clearly on why, and I think you've also explained it earlier in the previous verse on how Krishna's mercy works on people who do good knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally. So I think we also I think sometimes we feel like okay, are we really doing good? Are we really really Krishna consciousness, having Krishna consciousness, really is God observing us or so forth? But looks like I feel very lucky that we are in a satsang and hearing and chanting and meditating. So we shouldn't expect to be in a good position, but we are already in a good position because we are already connected to Krishna, because he's with us and he's looking into the service that we are doing. So this verse explains that, on how lucky we are, how lucky I am. So I think Prabhupada is also explaining in the sloka about mercy of Krishna. So nothing small is too small, is what I feel in Krishna's consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa Bhakti.
Thank you. Very nice. So nothing small is too small. I like the way you put it. Ishvara swabhavir bhaktir nalay aparadha alpa seva bahumani atma prayanta prasada. Even little service, Lord Jagannath's big eyes, he magnifies it with like a magnifying lens. Always looking for opportunity to give himself to others, to his devotees. Somehow he wants to kind of give, like in Kali Yuga, the mercy is flowing so much. Lord Chaitanya is saying, you just try, I'll give you the full marks. You just try. Just try. The marks you will get, you will pass. But at least do something. At least sit for the exam. At least just show up for the exam. The devotees mentioned that the Lords Śrī Devi and Bhudevi are so merciful. Sometimes the Lord complains. Krishna says, Sarva dharman paritejya mamekam sharanam vraja. That's too much to surrender everything. But Lord Chaitanya says, you just try. You just come. You come for the class. You come for the Mangalat. Even if you sleep there, that's fine. You get up at the time of prasadam, that's fine. That's also mercy. That's prasad. Prasad means mercy. So the Lord is so merciful, so merciful, that his mercy has no bound. And especially in this Kali Yuga, in this day and age, Lord Chaitanya, especially this particular Kali Yuga, is very special because Lord Chaitanya just came 100 years back. So, any other comments anyone has? We have a few more verses in this chapter. Maybe we'll complete that soon. So not today. We don't have time to complete the remaining verses, but it will take maybe one more day. So it's kind of the last few verses. The story is pretty much wrapping up. Putana has been given the high destination as a mother. And Shukdev Goswami is wrapping up this chapter. So,
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask in the last class as well, but forgot to ask. In our Ram Navami program, you and Mataji on the stage were saying something. Was it kind of a skit, or somehow it wasn't much audible? We were at the back all the way near the registration. So maybe not now, in the next class, maybe if you can share what was going on, the conversation between you and Mataji on the stage on that day.
sure. Yeah, yes. We had planned some things, but I guess circumstances and situations and Providence has their own plan. So the noise level of the kids was too high. And we don't also exactly remember, but I think we had plans to share some 10 aspects of some 10, just to keep the audience engaged, some 10 interesting facts from Ramayana, which most people may not know. So it didn't work out the way we kind of planned. So Krishna has his own plans.
Maybe next time when we get together for satsang,
Sure.
both of you can perform the same kind of you perform like a skit or so, right? Like dialogues also, kind of.
Sure, Nataji. My blessings.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyaiva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyaiva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Hare Bol.
Hare Bol, Prabhu.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.